Many people consider East Lansing, Michigan to have some of the most sought after neighborhoods in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. So in this video, I'm going to be going through the most popular neighborhoods in the East Lansing, Michigan area, and be sure to stay tuned the entire time because from 8 all the way until number 1, there's a ton of variety, some older architectural homes, some condos. You're not gonna wanna miss it, and hopefully at the end of this video, you'll be able to make a decision of where you might wanna live. So let's get started with this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing realtor in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I get phone calls all the time from people who are just like you watching this channel. People who are looking to relocate here from the West Coast, from the East Coast, from down south, from the Midwest, from up north, from around the world, wherever that might be. I get phone calls of people looking to relocate here. And if that's you and you're looking to relocate here within the next 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from now, I would love to be able to talk with you. Either call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom call with me. All my contact information in the description below. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. That way you can be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. And also give me a thumbs up if you like the content of this video. That helps me to be able to know what content I should continue to make. All right, so we are now getting into the top neighborhoods of East Lansing, Michigan. So how did I come up with these top 8 neighborhoods? Well, I looked at the data from the last year and I saw the number of units that had sold. And so these are the top 8 neighborhoods according to the amount of units sold year over year. Those of you who know the East Lansing, Michigan area, I don't think you'll be surprised by some of these. It's not like when I looked at these, I was going, oh yeah, like this doesn't seem like a popular neighborhood whatsoever. I feel like these top 8 are very reflective of the East Lansing, Michigan market. Let's get started with number 8. Okay, so coming in at number 8 is Rudgate Hills, which is spelled R-U-D-G-A-T-E, Rudgate Hills. You might not have heard of it because it is kind of interconnected with another neighborhood that I'm going to be talking about later that is pretty popular within the East Lansing, Michigan area. This is located towards the north central side of East Lansing, about a couple miles north of Michigan State University. A lot of the homes in this neighborhood, a lot of the homes in Rudgate Hills, they are more traditional homes, a lot more colonials, but they are built in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, so you might see some mid-century modern homes within this neighborhood. So the average price in this neighborhood of a home that was sold was $500,000, but there were 9 units sold throughout all of East Lansing in the last year. So that's why it's coming in at number 8. So 9 units sold within the last year. The other thing I want to point out, this is within walking distance to a school called White Hills Elementary, really close walking distance. You also have access to a park known as the Al White Park, which is a neighborhood park. Also, as far as homeowners associations, there is an HOA that has some deed restrictions. So one of the main deed restrictions is you're not allowed to have any chickens, poultry, farm animals. So if you're looking to potentially have chickens in your yard, don't move to Rudgate Hills because they're not going to allow you to. But there is no fee for HOA, which is a good thing. So let me go ahead, bring a home on Rudgate Hills on the computer. Let's check it out.
Okay, so let's take a look at this first one. You see here, this is in Rudgate, 1017 Pebblebrook Lane. You can see here, you guys see it is more of a colonial home, sold at $507,000. I definitely want to have a lot of these homes be within that average price point that you guys have been checking out, just so that you can have an idea of what an average home in the neighborhood would be. So let's take a look and see, yep, some older carpet, some wallpaper. Definitely some of those cabinets there look like they could, but you got the hardwood floors there. That's extremely nice. Some nice built-in bookshelves. Set some carpet in the bathroom. Ugh. So you can see it's not like it's completely move-in ready. You got 0.4 acres and it's a 2,800 square foot home with a partially finished basement, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Let's see what is coming up next on the list.
Okay, number 7. Moving up the list here. Coming in at number 7 is Eagle Eye. This also had 9 units sold. I had this ranked higher though because the average price per unit that was sold was higher than Rudgate Hills. So the average for this one was $535,468. So what is Eagle Eye? Eagle Eye is located close to a golf course, and there are some golf course views in Eagle Eye, but it is more of a condominium association. However, it is not a traditional condominium association. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that this association, you will pay $200 a month towards your lawn care and your snow removal. But that's all that's covered. They're not gonna cover your roof, your siding, like some condo associations would. So the thing that's really nice is, hey, you get really affordable, I feel, really affordable homeowners association fees at $200 a month, and your lawn care and snow removal is taken care of. But on the flip side, you are gonna get a traditional homeowners insurance policy. It's not gonna be how a condo policy would be, where it would be significantly cheaper. You're gonna have to be responsible for the roof. You're gonna have to be responsible for all of your, basically any sort of insurance claim that comes up, windows, siding, you're gonna have to be responsible for. So that is something to keep in mind. The thing with the condos is that there were two different phases. Some condos were built in the mid 2000s. So some of these units are gonna be about 20 years old. And then some of the units were built newish, but what people have to keep in mind is that some of these condos are built in the Lansing School District, and some of them are built in the East Lansing School District. So when you're looking at a condo and maybe your return of investment, that is something to keep in mind, whether it's in East Lansing Schools, Lansing School District, because that could affect the price. You might be like, hey, why is this house so much cheaper than this house? Well, part of it could be due to the school district. Just something to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and bring up one of these condos right now.
Okay, so number 7 was Eagle Eye. So let's take a look at an average. So this is at $565,000, a little bit above the average price point here in Eagle Eye. It was built in 2007. It's a ranch, 1,800 square feet. Again, you see they should have $600 quarterly for the association fee. Times it by 4, $2,400 for the year divided by 12. That's why I came up with the $200 a month. But it's 2 beds, 3 full baths. Let's take a look. Some snow on there, so hopefully they had some snow plowing done there because of the lawn care and snow removal. Ooh, look at those hardwood floors. Nice, and those look like those are in great shape. White trim throughout, so it looks nice and modern. Neutral paint colors. Some nice windows there in the back to bring in that natural sunlight. So you're seeing here, you know, $565,000, but it is has a walk-in pantry there. I mean, it's for someone looking for condo living, definitely would love this. And you have a walk-in shower. I am curious, I'm going through these photos really fast because there's the basement right here. You're seeing this, but I'm curious to see if this is also on, like, has a golf course view. This is a detached condo, so that's nice. But I want to see the backyard. Okay, it doesn't say anything about maybe golf. Okay, maybe they are going to show it here in the springtime. Yeah. So you get a nice view of the golf course there. You see the sand trap. So that's part of the reason why it is $500. If you have a golf course view, it's going to be more money. So you got a nice golf course view that kind of explains why the price per square foot is so high. Okay, moving on. Let's see what's next.
All right, number 6. Coming in at number 6, a very popular neighborhood in the East Lansing, Michigan area, Chesterfield Hills. Chesterfield Hills, this is just west of Michigan State University campus, but also the downtown area. And it's located towards there's a main street called Grand River Avenue that leads you right into downtown. This is south of Grand River Avenue. There's another neighborhood we're going to talk about later that's north of Grand River Avenue. The thing also with Chesterfield Hills is that Chesterfield Hills can extend to the northern part of Grand River Avenue as well. There were some homes that were built in that neighborhood, but a lot of these homes, more traditional layouts, they do have character, built in the 1920s, the 1930s. So they're going to have some of those archways and some of those hardwood floors. A lot of the homes in this neighborhood tend to be a little bit smaller than what could be further north at the neighborhood across the street, which I'm going to talk about later. But there are some larger homes within Chesterfield Hills. It's not like all of them are small, but I would say a majority of them on the smaller side when you compare it to the neighborhood that's right across the street. So 10 units sold within the last year in Chesterfield Hills, and the average price point is $358,115. The thing that's also great about this location at Chesterfield Hills is it is in a historic neighborhood, so there's really not a lot of altering you can do to the outside of the home. You gotta get permission from the Historical Society in the city of East Lansing, but it is really convenient walking distance to Spartan Stadium, to the Breslin Center. You just gotta kind of walk straight down. There's a road called Harrison that takes you all the way down there, and as long as it's not a snowy or rainy day, you can have a beautiful day where you walk down there and you don't have to pay for parking. So a lot of people find this neighborhood very convenient. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these homes in Chesterfield Hills.
All right, so Chesterfield Hills. Let's take a look here. Chesterfield Hills, and like I told you, like, you know, some smaller Cape Cod-ish homes. This is around 1,900 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, built in 1939. Built in the 20s, 30s, 40s, like I told you. Let's take a look here. This one for $359,000. Again, you can see the charming curb appeal, some of the character, the hardwood floors, the little archway entrances, the bay window, that's really nice as well. Kitchen's not in bad shape. Has some stainless steel appliances there. That's the half bath. And then going upstairs, hardwood floors continue. That's what you find. You can find some wonky looking room shapes with a Cape Cod. You can kind of see like how the walls just kind of slant. So very nice. Again, you can see like for what you can get for 1,900 square feet in charming Chesterfield Hills, I feel like that's not a bad deal. Moving on, let's see what the top 5 is.
Coming in at number 5, we're getting to the top 5, is Pinecrest neighborhood. Pinecrest neighborhood. So within the last year, 12 homes sold within this neighborhood. That's why it came in at number 5. The average price point is $302,000. So you're kind of getting closer to that average price point of the greater Lansing, Michigan area. A lot of homes were built in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. There is an elementary school within this neighborhood. There isn't an HOA necessarily where you had to pay an HOA fee within this neighborhood. So let's take a look at Pinecrest.
Okay, so let's take a look at Pinecrest, Woodingham. Okay, so this is a ranch home, little under 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and those full baths are on the main floor. Sometimes you have to be aware of where these bathrooms are because they could show 2 bathrooms, but one of them could be in the basement, so you have one on the main level, but we can always see like where they are on the main level. So an attached 2-car garage, let's take a look. There's a pantry there. So there's some remodeling there. But again, a home's built in the 60s. Not, you know, doesn't have a finished basement, basic patio space. Moving on to number 4.
We're continuing to move up the list. Number 4 is Hawknest, neighborhood. So Hawknest, it's located pretty close to where the Eagle Eye neighborhood is. It's a little further west from the Eagle Eye neighborhood. These are homes, they're sometimes known as site condos, but they are really residential homes. And 12 homes also sold in Hawknest this last year. The reason why it's higher than Pinecrest is that the average price point for these was $371,642. They are in a homeowners association. It's around $200 a year. There's a neighborhood playground that helps pay for some of the common areas. The one thing you have to be aware of, it's the same way with Eagle Eye. They built homes in Hawknest that are in the East Lansing School District, and then they built some homes that are in the Lansing School District. So you might find a little bit of a bigger house for less money in the homes that were built in the Lansing School District. And some of these homes built in the Lansing School District were built newer than the ones that were built in East Lansing. They are, I believe they're done with the East Lansing School District side. So again, when you get with an agent like myself or somebody else, we'd be able to verify what school district is this home in. You are gonna have a lot of homes that were built in 2004, 2005, so some of them are getting to that 20-year-old mark. A lot of them were built in 2010, 11, 12. Some of them are getting to like 10 to 15 years old. Then some of the newer builds are getting to less than 10 years old in the Lansing School District. So let's take a look at some of the homes in Hawk Nest.
Okay, so let's take a look at Hawk Nest. So this sold for $378,000, two-story home, 3 beds, 2.5 bathrooms, built in 2005. So a 20-year-old house, 2,000 square feet. And the one thing I'll say about Hawk Nest as well too, I've said it, I did a vlog tour on this neighborhood too, but a lot of the homes have the same layout. So what you're gonna see here is something you're gonna see in many of the two-story homes. A lot of people chose this layout in Hawk Nest. So this is a very cookie cutter neighborhood, less than 1/4 of an acre. So let's take a look. Some neutral paint colors. But again, a lot of them have this sort of layout. It could be split on the other side. Not bad. There's the laundry. And then, yeah, this is typical for the primary, that you step down into the primary bed. It's very large. I've seen some people put AC units in their primary in there too, just because of where it is over the garage. Air doesn't travel as far over there. So just something for you to know, in Hawk Nest as well. Okay. And then, oh, this is a nice finished basement space. The basements here aren't huge. And the one thing you sacrifice is when you do the basements and finish them off, you don't have a lot of storage space. And you can kind of see like the yard, it has a patio, but not a ton of storage space. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our top 3.
The top 3, we're getting close to number 1. Coming in at number 3, Strathmore neighborhood. Strathmore neighborhood had 13 units sold, average price point $354,000. Strathmore is located east of another neighborhood that I'm about to mention that came in at the top 2. I don't want to give away like what each of the neighborhoods are, but some of these neighborhoods just kind of melt together, like Chesterfield Hills, south side of Grand River Avenue, and within walking distance to downtown East Lansing, Michigan State. Strathmore is another neighborhood that's located behind downtown East Lansing. So in Strathmore, what you have to be aware of is that you might be having some rentals nearby, depending on what district you live in Strathmore. But you do have homes built in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, some homes with character. But you are within an incredible walking distance to downtown. So some people, they love Strathmore just because of the fact that they can just walk right down to East Lansing. They can ride their bikes. They're really close to the library. They're also close to the Hannah Community Center that has a swimming pool and a gym in it, and a lot of people use it for conferences, for events as well. So let's take a look at a home in Strathmore neighborhood.
Okay, so Strathmore, let's see. Going to Beach Street, which is behind the downtown East Lansing area. Built in 1935, so a lot of the, this is close to Glencairn, close to Chesterfield Hills. Glencairn is one I'm going to be talking about here shortly, but homes built in the 30s, and this is built in, I said 1935, 1,700 finished square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 1 on each floor. Sold at $350,000. So let's take a look and see. Has some, a colonial, nice, charming curb appeal there. Hardwood floors look like they got refinished or they replaced, but it looks like maybe they just really refinished them. Kitchen's okay. Basic countertops with some stainless steel appliances there. And again, part of the reason why the price here is less than even Chesterfield Hills a little bit is because it's closer to downtown East Lansing, but you could be closer to a rental. Okay. Storage there in the basement. That's nice, though. And a little patio area. Okay. Getting close. Let's see what came in at number 2.
We're at the top 2. So number 2 is Glencairn neighborhood. Glencairn. Last year, 15 homes sold in the Glencairn neighborhood. The average price point, $472,820. Glencairn, it's basically like, now that I've revealed some of the other neighborhoods, I can kind of tell you some additional things, right? Comparing it to the other neighborhoods. So Glencairn is in a historic neighborhood. They don't have a lot of rentals within their neighborhood unless it was a rental before they made the East Lansing rental laws. You have a lot of colonial homes, but a lot of homes that tend to have bigger square footage as well. So that's why the price point is about $120,000 higher than what Chesterfield Hills was, which was just south of that neighborhood. And again, decent walking distance to the athletic events, to downtown East Lansing. So let's see why this neighborhood is popular. Let me bring it up.
Okay, so close to the same area where Strathmore came, we're going to South Lawn. This sold at $485,000. See the colonial there? Same sort of look. This one was built in 1950, so a little bit of a newer house compared to the last one. 2,400 finished square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, less than a quarter-acre lot. So the thing with South Lawn, though, is that this is located a little bit closer to the college and some of the rentals. So if you're closer to the west side of Glencairn, sometimes the prices might be higher because it is a little bit more isolated. So let's take a look. Fireplace. Many of them have these charming fireplaces. Hardwood floors. That kitchen, that looks extremely nice with that island. They'd put some work into that for sure. Okay. Hardwood floors throughout. Very nice. And then that's like what we like to call just the vintage tile. And a lot of people like that. It looks like it's baby blue. But those of you who love homes with character, you don't mind that at all, right? I see mint green, pink, black and white, whatever that might be. It looks like the laundry's in the basement and a detached garage. Okay, very nice. Let's see what came in at number 1.
And coming in at number 1, which before I reveal number 1, I do want to let you know on my channel, there are so many different neighborhoods that are featured. Some of these neighborhoods I've been talking about are on some vlog tours I've done of East Lansing, Michigan. But also I talk about Okemos and Hazlitt and Williamston and Grand Ledge, the west side, the north side, DeWitt. So we are the number 1 YouTube channel in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. So check out the other videos that I have on this channel because there's a lot of information that might help you come to that decision of what neighborhood you should live in. Okay, so number 1. Number 1 is White Hills. Those of you who know East Lansing, this doesn't come as a surprise to you. White Hills had 18 homes sold within the last year. The average was at $483,000. And in White Hills, because I talked about Rudgate, right? That was the northern part of White Hills. So White Hills, there's a lot of European architectures that built these homes. Homes again built in the 50s, the 60s, mid-century modern homes. There is a $50 annual optional HOA fee that you can pay. There are some deed restrictions, some bylaws, just like Rudgate, where you can't have chickens within the neighborhood. Just like Rudgate, you do have access to the Al White Park, and within close proximity to walking to the elementary school. That's White Hills Elementary. Again, it's very popular just because it's further north of Michigan State, so you're not right there on campus, and yet you could be in a mid-century modern sort of home, so you might have some distance, and you're really close to an elementary school. So let's check out a home in White Hills.
Okay, so number 1, White Hills. And average price came in at $483,000. So this is on a road called Applegate. Very popular road in White Hills. This is a ranch style home. It's interesting though, like the taxes. I haven't featured this on any of the others, but I figured this would be a good time as any. You know, the taxes for this one right now are $7,400, but because of what they purchased it for, that's gonna go from a $140 taxable value up to like closer to $240. So their taxes are gonna go up to $12,000 or $13,000. And I really hope their agent told them that, which this agent's good. I think that they told them that. Almost on a half an acre. So some of these lots are larger in White Hills. 4 beds, 3 full baths. It looks like there's a bathroom in the basement and then 2 baths on the main floor. So let's take a look here. And again, I feel like I haven't even been in this, but I feel like this is going to have a mid-century modern feel. You know, we saw a lot of these, trying to go through these outside pictures because we got to get inside, right, folks? All right, that's a nice kitchen. Look at that. It looks like when you first walk in, boom, the kitchen's right there, maybe, or the back door. Maybe that's the back door. Okay, nice and open. So they probably tore down some walls because I don't think this is a typical thing in these homes. There's usually a lot more walls and it's closed off. That's a nice little porch there. Got some hardwood floors, fireplace, subway tile shower there. Looks like they might have boiler heating, which was common back in that day to have boiler heating instead of forced air gas. It can be more of a radiant heat if you've never experienced that. Well, that's cool for the downstairs. The bathroom and some carpet and that bar area, that is awesome. So a lot of flexibility in that space. Looks like, you know, this is the last photo I'm going to show you here. So I want to finish off with a couple other things. So let me go ahead and say a couple more things.
Okay, everybody, that'll do it. That's the end of this video. Again, I appreciate you watching, and if you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Or subscribe to my channel so that you could be the first to be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live. And we are the #1 YouTube channel in Lansing, Michigan. So for all things Lansing, Michigan, or you're looking to relocate here, you're definitely going to want to subscribe to this channel. And also, call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom. All that information is in the description below. If you want to contact me at any time, I would love to be able to talk with you, especially face-to-face. That's what I prefer. So until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And take care and make it a great day.